Hey guys, what's going on? I want to give my thoughts on show I saw yesterday. Um, the new Selena movie that just came out. Well, Selena Selena Biopic series that just came out. Uh, was yesterday on Netflix. And what I thought about it compared to the old 1997 version. What I thought about the performances, what I thought about how they handled the material. Now, I will say that when I heard about this months ago, I thought to myself, well, why are they doing this again? We know her story already. She was a Tejano singer, and she died in 1995 at the hands of Yolanda Saldivar, her assassin. You know, we know all this stuff. There's really nothing left to tell. But I was wrong on that. There's plenty left to tell. And it hits at it from a different aspect. One one aspect that it hits at that's different than the 97 version is not just about Selena. This is about the entire Quintanilla family. It hits on AB, her brother, and his struggles. Suzette, and the sister, and her struggles, and the father and mother. Um, the characters of Abraham Quintanilla Sr. and Marcela Quintanilla play a larger role than in the original. Um, and the character of A.B. Quintanilla, Selena's brother, plays a larger role than in the original. And of course, Suzette Quintanilla, who is played by Naomi Gonzalez, is one of the main characters because if you look at the credits of the movie, Suzette Quintanilla helped produce this film. And, we know from the original that she didn't like to play the drums. That when her father Abraham told her that she was going to play the drums, she initially rejected that. But in this, we find out that later on she began to appreciate playing the drums. There's one particular scene when they're in Mexico where this one girl, she sneaks through the crowd. She has a chance to get off from working in her family's restaurant. She sneaks through the crowd, and she gets the chance to see Selena y los Dinos. And then she meets up with Suzette, and Suzette tells her, "Wait a minute, Selena just got in the van. You missed her." She said, "No, I'm not looking for Selena. I'm looking for you." And Suzette proceeds to give this girl her drumsticks. So, in other words, Suzette is feeling appreciated in the band in ways that she wouldn't. It also goes into the creative process of A.B. Quintanilla and how he was able to write some of the hit songs that Selena y los Dinos was famous for, like Baila esta cumbia or Como la Flor, and how he wrote those songs and what it took for him initially to become a writer, a songwriter. There's this one powerful scene with him and the father where the father is telling him, well, what does it take to be a songwriter? Because they wanted to get this one songwriter that had wrote a lot of hit Tejano type music, but they couldn't get him because he was too expensive, and he went with another band. So the father says, "Well, what makes this particular guy a great songwriter? Is he a man? Are you a man? You're both men. Why don't you take from your experiences?" And that's later what AB does and allows him to be successful, not just with Selena y los Dinos, but later on, even after his sister passed away, He started his own band, the Cumbia Kings, and is still making music to this day. Um, Still making music to this day. So it shines a little bit light on um, the family more so than just the original with J Lo was just about just about Selena and a little bit about Abraham and the racism that he faced being a Chicano in the 1960s. This doesn't really go into that. This does flash back to when the mother and father met each other when Abraham was in the army, and he had this one car. It also this one also touches on um, the more of the dynamic between Chris Perez and Selena. As they were going out, as they were carrying on their secret relationship. The first one does too, but it skyrockets to when they meet each other, and then all of a sudden they get eloped, and that was it. This goes into what it was really like for them. Struggling to maintain a relationship in secret without um, the band members, the other band members, really knowing what was going on. Now, there's this one scene where they're coming out of a hotel, and AB, the brother, sees them, and he's like, you got to stop this, Selena, because if you don't, that'll break up the whole band. And then with Selena, uh, she's torn between should she should she maintain this relationship with Chris and get married to him and pursue this love interest, or should she put her own personal feelings um, aside and focus on what they're doing in the music? Because Abraham is fond of saying that Selena's success is everyone's success. So Selena feels like it's all riding on her, and she feels a ton of pressure to put aside personal um, her personal wants and needs and aspirations for the good of the band. Um, Christina Serratos plays Selena in the new one, and I think facially, she's a Nickelodeon actress, so it means that she's very young, and what that's good for this because with the '97 version of the movie, it has young Selena, and then it picks up to where Selena is already grown. It doesn't really show really the rise of Selena y Los Dinos as a band, how they went from doing these little shitty weddings and these little shitty quinceañeras to doing these big arena shows. It doesn't really show their ascension to popularity, whereas this one does. So having a younger actress play her, and an actress who is actually Mexican American, which was in the '97 version when J Lo was cast. That was a big thing. J Lo, Jennifer Lopez is of course an actress of Puerto Rican descent. She's not Mexican, and she didn't really look like the real Selena Quintanilla Perez. You know, facially. So having this one, even though younger, kind of is a better pick. I think Edward James almost did a better job as Abraham Quintanilla Sr. than um, the gentleman that plays him in this one, Regato Chiveras. Roger Chaveras. I, I I think Edward James Olmos is a better actor. He's from he had several movies under his belt, American Me, other types of really Chicano themed, Mexican American themed movies before he had done Selena, so he was just better at it. Um, this one didn't really even look like Abraham, the real Abraham Quintanilla. I thought Eddie almost was better. But one thing I will say is that when it comes to the body, the, the physical, the body side of Selena, I think J Lo did a better job. This girl, Cerratos, she's very young. She doesn't have the she doesn't have the butt. She doesn't have the hips. She doesn't have the lower side of what the real Selena had. J Lo didn't really have it either. They had to use padding in the '97 version. As much as J Lo later became a musical star and later became famous for her butt herself, she didn't really have it in '97 when she played Selena. This girl didn't have it either at all. This girl completely flat in the back, you know, that. But facially wise, especially like when they went into like in the night in what Selena had done in the '80s, the real apex of when Selena was really becoming big, like in 1986, 87, 88, 89. There's this one scene um, when she's going to the Tejano Music Awards and she meets another famous Tejano singer, Lauren Canelis, um, in the bathroom, and Lauren is expecting Selena to lose, so she says, don't basically says don't be mad when you get disappointed. Ironically, Selena wins, and that was in the 1986 Tejano Music Awards. And if you go back and look at that video on YouTube, um, Cerratos has Selena's hairstyle completely down packed from that whole 1980s, um, mid 80s period. That when the American audience really didn't know anything about Selena, the American audience really didn't get to know really anything about Selena until after Dreaming of You came out, and that was after she passed away. But when she was really popular on the Tejano scene, um, you know that period, Cerratos really nailed it. Nailed her mannerisms, nailed how she danced. You go back and look at the original footage. Um, the series ends when she just meets Yolanda on the phone. She doesn't actually meet Yolanda yet. Um, so the more juicier parts of her life are not really covered in this film. The parts where she elopes with Chris, the parts, with Yolanda, the parts of her releasing her English language album, uh, the performance, the famous performance in Texas with the purple outfit, is not covered in this movie. Probably the next season of the series, because it is a Netflix series. Um, it will be in there. The one where she's, I think it's Houston, Corpus Christi. Let me look it up, guys. Oh yes, it's Houston. I think it's the Astrodome. It's the one that Cardi B later parodied as well. Um, the purple outfit, the famous one, where she comes out on the horse and carriage. They don't talk about that one. Uh, they don't touch on that, and they don't touch on the making of the '97 version. But overall, I like this version better than the '97 version, and I thought I wouldn't because I'm like, again, well, what else can be told? It's all been told already. Why did they need to make a second one? But I didn't realize this would be more so about the Quintanilla family than just about Selena herself. And we don't really, um, unless you're really big fans of Selena y Los Dinos and the whole band and everything, we didn't really know that much about Suzette, about AB, about Abraham Quintanilla Sr. or Marcela Quintanilla and their lives and their struggles and their wants and everything. So hopefully hopefully we'll get a second season of this by Netflix. But I really enjoyed it. Peace.